And joining us now is Integrated Bar of the Philippines President, Attorney Alan Panolong. Good morning, Attorney. Welcome back to Morning Matters.
Hi, good morning, Pauline, and good morning to our all televiewers. Magandang umaga po.
Okay, so Attorney, today is a much anticipated day. The Senate is expected to convene as an impeachment court. Pero from a legal standpoint, Attorney, tell us what should happen first once the Senate convenes. Walk us through what the public should watch out for.
All right. As announced, today the Senate will convene as an impeachment court. So first, they have to the Senate shall issue formal invitation to the members of the Senate in order for them to be informed that they will convene. Now, once they have convened, the Senate President will now take his oath as the presiding officer or presiding judge, and the remaining members of the Senate will also take their oath as senator judges, and then they will now come up with the order of business of the day, which is normally to issue summon to the impeached officer, which is, in this case, is the Vice President of the Philippines, who is Honorable Sara Duterte.
And today na rin po ba, Attorney, i-discuss ng Senate as an impeachment court yung kanilang rules, ano? And if so, do they have the freedom to put in any kind of rule they want because they do have the sole power here to try and decide impeachment cases?
You know, Ms. Pauline, the Senate is more or less very much expert on the impeachment process, considering that we already have so many cases of impeachment in the past. So under their rules, they have their own rules of impeachment procedure, and I think the Senate will have to revisit that in order for them to either they want to adopt in toto, or they want to amend, or they want to what's this? Yeah, or probably to enrich further if they wanted to add more. But these rules, I believe, have been the rules since, no, and I don't think it needs some substantial changes.
Well, there was this proposal, Attorney, from Senator Rodante Marcoleta, a proposal to amend the rule requiring senators to be physically present at the Senate when they conduct a vote. So essentially, the amendment here is that senators can vote virtually anywhere, basta online po, ano. What do you make of that kind of amendment to a rule?
Well, since the issue concerns national interest or public interest, the rule should not be made to accommodate one or two or any senators who cannot be able to attend the proceeding, because it will destroy the integrity of the proceeding. You know, impeachment is although it is a political exercise, but it is also a means to call public accountability. Now, if we bend the rule just to accommodate one or two senators, who cannot, by legal impediment, cannot be present in order to participate in the proceeding, or worse, to vote for the decision, then my personal opinion is that it is a mockery of the rules, and it's a mockery of the procedure. It should not be that way.
Well, Attorney, legal scholars and constitutional experts have already warned against any potential delays in the impeachment process. If may makita po tayo, Attorney, let's say, na kahit anong delaying tactics po later on, ano po magiging implikasyon niyan?
Well, it will erode the integrity of the Senate, because the people have been monitoring and have been watching on this, and they expect that upon the convening of the impeachment body, then they have to proceed with the trial process. Now, if they delay this further for no reason at all, or for no legal ground, then it would really be parang it will erode the integrity of the institution.
But just to clarify, attorney, what is allowed from the senators when they become senator judges? And tama po ba na they must convene themselves first as an impeachment court before tackling any matter related to the impeachment? Kasi there are some concerns that there might be a motion raised to dismiss the complaint altogether if there are enough votes. Based on what we've seen last year, diba? The impeachment was remanded, eventually it was archived. So there are fears, attorney, that could happen again this time around.
Well, first things first, they have to convene as an impeachment court. That is basic because if they won't convene as an impeachment court, there is nothing to tackle. Because take note that the impeachment, this is not their regular job, no? Because their main duty is to legislate or pass laws. Now, the impeachment is a special duty of the senators in the event that an impeachment case is brought before them. So it is true that they have to convene first. Otherwise, they cannot initiate any act or any agenda or addendum for that matter.
So once they convene, attorney, wala na pong atrasan yan. They have already convened themselves as an impeachment court. But with that said, gaano rin po ka-importante or sacred, attorney, yung pag-take ng oath ng senator judges in ensuring impartiality when it comes to this impeachment process?
Well, it is very important because for one, they swore to defend the Constitution and they swore to uphold the rule of law. So that is basic. So when you swear before the Constitution, so it goes to say that all your actions, your decision will be guided by the teachings of the Constitution.
And attorney, what should senator judges keep in mind to avoid courting a possible constitutional crisis?
Oh, they have to avoid showing manifest partiality in the course of the proceeding. Because, as senator judges, they have to expect to be fair, impartial, and just. So the moment they manifest partiality, so it will destroy the proceeding because it would now be very obvious on their decision on the matter. Secondly, I think there is a gag order preventing them or discouraging from appearing before any media or discussing the merits of the case in any public forum. So they have to avoid that so that it will not destroy or preempt the result of the impeachment. And that is very necessary.
Well, we know, attorney, that the impeachment process is still anchored and grounded on due process. So walk us through some of the requirements, not just for the prosecution, but even for the defense. Ano po yung mga due process requirements na nararapat po sa parehong partido during an impeachment trial?
Well, ang impeachment trial is similar to a regular court trial. The prosecution will first present their evidence in chief because they are the one accusing the impeached officer of alleged violations of the constitutions. So what are those alleged violations in the articles of impeachment mentioned? Number one is culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayal of public trust, betrayal of public trust, graft and corruption, and violations or committing either high crimes. Now, the prosecution's job is to establish the essential elements, the presence of the essential elements of all those accusations that they allege in their articles of impeachment. On the other hand, the defense is given an opportunity to rebut, to cross-examine the witnesses, to examine the evidence presented before the impeachment court, and they can avail of all the necessary remedies applicable under this jurisdiction in order to protect the interests of their client. So I think the idea to shorten the proceeding by filing a motion to dismiss is not a wise legal option under the circumstances because the allegations are in nature very serious. So for them to get not only a favorable approval from the senator judges, but also to convince the public that their client are is indeed innocent of the charges. So tandaan po natin ito, Ma'am Pauline, no? The people are also watching us judges. They are actually examining the behavior of our senator judges, even the prosecutors, even the defense. So they themselves are actually weighing the evidence whether kung convincing ba to o hindi. But of course, ultimately, it is the Senate which the Senate as an impeachment court will decide ultimately as to the fate of the impeached vice president. So ganun po yun, no? So it's evidentiary. So the prosecution, ilalatag niya one by one for each charge. For instance, for the culpable violation of the Constitution, ano yung charge nila dyan? Yung alleged unexplained wealth. So what are those evidence for alleged unexplained wealth? So these are the banking transactions, among other financial transactions that they unearthed, and more importantly, they have to present an expert witness who will testify and confirm as to the alleged illegal financial transactions. Now, the defense has remedy. Pwede niyang, it can avail of the available remedies under the law. So they can cross-examine the officer, the witnesses being presented by the prosecution. They can even object to the evidence presented, supposing the evidence was obtained illegally, or as we call it, is a fruit of the poisonous tree. So if the evidence is not really admissible, it is not competent. So they can do that, or they can do that. Now, after the presentation of the evidence of the prosecution for the first charge of culpable violation, they have to proceed with the graft and corruption, which is the alleged misuse of the confidential fund. And another thing, the third charge is about, again, remember that public statement made by the vice president, until all the charges have been presented by the prosecution, and that the defense was also given an opportunity to examine the evidence, and they have all the opportunity to object at any stage of that proceeding, and also during trial, and also they're also given an opportunity to present their evidence, supposing after the prosecution has rested its case. Ganun po ang proseso. Medyo masalimuot to, Ma'am Paulina, because there are a lot of charges, and these charges will have to be presented by the prosecution, and it will take lots of time, I think, for the prosecution to be able to present all these witnesses and the evidence that they have produced against the impeached officer.
Pero attorney, mahalaga po itong stage ng impeachment process, especially for the defense, kasi yung kanilang argument noong clarificatory hearings ng House Justice Committee is that they didn't have the opportunity to cross-examine. What they did was file motions instead before the Supreme Court, motion to dismiss, meron din yung perjury complaint against Ramil Madriaga as a witness. So dito po sa impeachment trial, they will have their day and their time in court. Now, ang tanong ko po, gano'n naman po crucial din yung appearance ni Vice President Sara Duterte in the impeachment trial, considering na hindi po siya nagpakita at all noong clarificatory hearings doon sa House Justice Committee?
Well, in any cases, the presence of the person being charged is necessary, because from his or her demeanor, you can judge whether somehow he or she may be held liable for that charges, no? So importante po yung demeanor ng accused din during the trial, kasi inobserbahan niya ng mga senator judges. Secondly, the best also, because it would strengthen her claim that she is innocent of the charges. So if she decides to ignore the invitation of the Senate for her to be present, then it will paint her a bad picture on that. It doesn't give a good impression on her. So it would be a must for me as a lawyer for her to appear, so that she can also she can also see face to face the people that who are accusing her and the witnesses being presented before the impeachment court. So ganun kaganda, no? Yung presence ng isang akusado sa impeachment case.
Pero would you know, attorney, kung required po ba na umattend ng impeachment trial ang akusado or posible po bang ang kanyang legal team na lamang ang mag-represent sa kanya doon?
Well, in the past impeachment trials, the impeached officer was present. If you recall, the former vice president and also, no, sorry, the former president and yeah, yun po. And besides, the defense, of course, kailangan nilang i-present yung impeached officer to defend her rights, her claims. So necessarily, her presence is needed.
Alright, and attorney, siguro help us understand din ano yung magiging powers dito ng impeachment court ng Senado compared to that of the House when they were conducting their clarificatory hearings. Di ba paulit-ulit po sinasabi ni Chairwoman Jervy Luistro na they cannot go beyond what they can scrutinize because that is the job of the impeachment court. So dito po ba maari pa silang tumawag ng additional witnesses, more evidence, the bank records themselves, and to open itong even the green box containing the Vice President's tax records?
Well, in the interest of justice, the senator judges can compel any person to appear. No, they have the subpoena power. So even the production of the documents which are subject of the case, it can be subpoenaed by the Senate, acting as an impeachment court.
Okay, and just as a final question, siguro, attorney, when all is said and done, sa tingin nyo, what will this impeachment trial come down to? You already know the articles of impeachment. Ano para sa tingin nyo ang pinakamalakas o may pinakamalakas na basehan for an impeachment of the Vice President among the articles of impeachment?
Oh, I don't want to give my own opinion on that, no. But based on my experience on the past impeachment cases, the Salan, no? Kasi yung Salan ang pinaka what's this? Madaling i-prove because anything that were not alleged in the Salan, which if established to be in existence or na-establish ng prosecution na merong hindi na-declare, which ought to be declared by the declarant, then talagang that is tantamount to a violation of the Salan law, which may be a ground for also it could be, no. I think pinaka mabigat, no, for me.
All right, we're going to leave that there for now. Marami pa po tayong aabangan. But thank you very much for sharing your insights with us. That was Attorney Alan Panulong, President of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines. Thank you, Attorney.
Thank you so much, Pauline. Mabuhay tayong lahat.